was not the way I intended my experiment in creating this planet and this human species to go.
We all had the best of intentions of improving the nation's sustainable energy systems and environment, but the corruption and greed in big business and government just won't let it happen.
Don't give up. Don't give up. The species understand. You've given them so much. Respect yourselves. Love nature. Live in peace.
Welcome to They Call This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships, one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and other podcast services by searching They Call This a Movie, and find us on Twitter and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Call This a Movie. This is Anthony Delvecchio. With me, as always, is Dan Aquino and Mark Meyer. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, friends.
Hello. I usually, start these out with like asking a question or bringing something, but I'm just curious because I know me and Ant both saw Across the Spider-Verse this weekend, and I'm wondering if we saw the same trailers and whether or not he cackled out loud at the Meg 2.
I'll just stop you right there. Didn't get the Meg 2. So, so that's the end of this bit.
Yeah, no, that's over. Oh, man, all right, new bit. Come on, think, Mark. Think.
Oh, man.
No.
You want us to take a 5? So you can...
No, but my last thing is saying is, like, go get that bag, Jason Statham. I don't care. But I literally, within like the first 2 scenes of the trailer, knew what it was and laughed out loud, and I think got an evil stare from the person sitting next to me in the movie theater.
Well,
That's the why.
What is your reaction supposed to be when the Meg 2?
I don't know. I think she's just mad that I was laughing because she's trying to watch the trailer. I don't know. But I could feel the why are you like laughing out loud at this trailer. But yeah, hey, I don't remember because I was laughing too hard if he says the Megalodon at any point. But he does reference, they make a lot of references to the last movie in the trailer, and just like, apparently the world has no idea it happened because everybody in this movie, besides the people in the first movie, know about what happened.
Sure. And have that sweet massacre on the beach that we were teased, and then it just kind of didn't show up.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So I'm sad for you that you did not get to see the Meg 2 trailer, and I'm more upset that it took so long.
You can just search YouTube. It's there.
Don't lose sleep over it, Mark. I'll be fine.
Okay. Good. Thank you. It's been tough sleeping.
You could have texted me. We could have figured this all out.
Right? Figured it out. I could have been sleeping more than 4 hours every night.
We keep telling you, Mark, you gotta fill us in on these things. It goes so much smoother if you said, "Hey, Ann, have you seen the Meg 2 trailer?" No, Mark, I haven't. Okay, watch it. I want to do this bit.
I don't know. I like the 30% hit rate that I get on my bits.
That's patent 300.
Yeah.
But besides the Meg 2, we have a very special week this week because it's Breen week, and we can't do a Neil Breen movie without two guys from the binge cast. We did Fateful Findings with them, as well as we did Double Down with one of them. Welcome back to the show, Pete and Alex. Welcome back.
What's up,
What's
man?
going on, guys? And we did the Double Down commentary.
We did.
For the full binge. It was nice.
That was a good one, too. So why don't you tell us what's going on over at the binge cast these days? It's been about a year since you guys were on.
Well, I mean, we are in summer movie season, and I guess we're just still kind of recovering from Fast 10, Fast X.
Hell yeah.
And we're still kind of blown away by that. I mean, we all took a little weekend vacation with our wives, and we sprung Fast X on Pete, who is not a fan of the series or anybody involved in the making of that movie or those franchise or anything in the franchise, including like all the tech people. Not even just like the cast. He doesn't like any like the boom operators. He doesn't like them.
Coordinators.
Stunt coordinators. Like fuck off. Like it. So
Pete's like,
that was fun to watch with
Strike
Pete.
lasts forever.
Trash. It's trash that that I'm not into.
Yeah, and we're just kind of blown away that is the first of a trilogy, but they started the first of a trilogy on the 10th movie. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't think
It's
they know what's
beautiful. It
going
doesn't
on.
matter.
I've seen Too Fast, Too Furious, and that's it. So I have no idea. I'm with Pete on this one.
Yeah, I'm not into it. I'm not into it for the funness of the whole thing either. Like making fun of it. I just
Yeah,
don't even give
we're
a
like,
shit.
ha ha ha! Isn't this stupid? And he's like, yes, this is stupid. It just deadpan.
That's perfect.
Like, oh,
That's
okay.
perfect. Yep, that's it.
I mean, Vin Diesel is basically Jesus Christ. So, I mean,
He is very Neil Breenish in
Yes.
that way.
yes.
The way that Breen is a god in every single movie, that is the same for Dominic Toretto.
And I think the main issue there is they both believe it. That's when it starts to get a little crazy.
Yeah, and the other thing they have in common is they both have really great bodies too. So
Oh yeah.
Best tits in this movie.
Yes.
But you guys, BingeCast also celebrate its 10th year. So congrats. on
Hey,
that.
congratulations.
thanks,
Yeah.
boys.
But yeah. So, as we mentioned, this week is a Neil Breen week, and we skipped this one because I think it was my pick, and I picked to go Fateful Findings because I usually heard that was the best Neil Breen for whatever that's worth. And I still stand by that. But this week, we decided to go back and watch his second film, which is I Am Here, ... now. 4 dots knows
That was the first surprise of the movie. I was not expecting that fourth dot.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know why, right? It's the Spinal Tap thing. It's one more.
Yeah, these go to 4. But yeah, so guys, Alex, Pete, where are you coming from with I Am Here Now?
Alex, go ahead. You start.
Oh, I was gonna say, go ahead, Pete. Well, I mean, I did watch these in succession at Pete's house. He showed me Double Down, and I think he saw that I was immediately obsessed with Breen. And I think we watched probably the first 3.
Yes.
And this is, I think, my second viewing of the film, and it was a little bit of a drop off. Some very similar themes to Double Down, but a little bit of a drop off in quality for me.
Yeah, I think this is my third or fourth watch of this movie. Remembered a lot of it, forgot a lot of it. But this one's a sloppy mess. I mean, don't get me wrong, Double Down and Fateful Findings are messes as well. But this one is just like, why are we still on like this random guy? He's not saying anything shot for 5 extra seconds, or why are we still in this scene? Like, what is this restaurant that's been on fire for 3 weeks, from 3 weeks ago that we're shooting at? What are we doing? Like, it's so confusing, this movie. I think out of the 3, this is his worst out of the 3 we've done so far, but it still has the Breen screen, you know what I'm saying?
Pete, how many times did you ask yourself, we're still here now? because the scenes.
Well, I
go
did
on
4
forever.
dots. I did 4 dots first. I'm still here. Dot, 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 dot. No. Yeah, this is a it's an hour and 27, but it feels long. It feels a little
Yeah.
longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this can be trimmed down to 10 minutes. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still
About 10
fun
minutes
though.
for the plot.
Still fun though. It's always fun.
All right. Dan, what about you? Where you come from? I'm here now.
Yeah, I agree with the gentleman here. It's a little overly long, but I will say no one makes me take more notes than Neil Breen. I have a full page of notes from the first scene.
Yes.
The first scene is its own movie, I think, and then the rest of the movie begins. Oh boy, yeah, his movies are a mess. But this movie just feels totally uncoordinated in every aspect. Just long bouts of silence, weird visuals. He holds up a skull with a spider near it. The gang members beating up the undercover cop, and the undercover cop not knowing which way to move his head while he's getting punched. Yeah, I know the message of this movie.
Really?
But-
I thought it was so subtle. It was hard to pick up.
The message or messages?
The message is, but he goes about it in such an odd way. Like, the main thing is he's really fixated on solar energy.
Sustainable energy. He's very big
Sustainable
on it in
energy.
this one. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he created the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like he created the whole world and all these inhabitants, and they're just ruining it. They're ruining his work.
This is
Not what
Neil
he had
Breen.
planned.
Neil Breen probably in real life made investments into green companies, and he's like, "Man, I'm taking a bath on all this shit."
This is big revenge flick against big energy.
The evil corporations that it's the evil corporations and the lawyers. It's the lawyers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he a cyborg? Is he a Frankenstein's monster?
I wrote down
knows?
that he's a celestial god. 'Cause
He's okay.
He did not only create the planet, but he created the universe. Like creating a planet's not enough for him. He's going to go bigger than that.
One of my favorite lines is all of the other planets in the solar system are doing just fine.
What a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, like I don't think there's life on Saturn. Like, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's thinking, but I love it. I love it so much.
All right, Mark, where are you with I'm Here Now?
Two main things off the bat. One, if this came out around this time, would everybody think Neil Breen was woke? With how much pushing environmental stuff and all that, and a lot of the message in this movie. And two, there was a lot of cranberry sauce in this movie.
Yes.
They didn't seem to know how to make anything close to realistic blood in this movie. The fun parts about it were just when like all of a sudden nothing would happen and then everything would happen in a matter of like 2 minutes. Like the guy stealing the packages out of the car, and then he walks up to the gang members and then like 2 minutes later he's dead. I'm like, wait, what happened? And we just met that guy like 10 minutes ago, at most. But
happens when you get fired for your solar energy job.
good job.
I like how the immediate thought that comes into these people's minds when they get laid off is, let's do illegal shit.
I'm just going to continue hooking.
Yeah.
Steal cars.
And
Like, you could look for other jobs too. That's an option.
they're just going to lie about getting the part-time job at the factory.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I think I messaged you guys and said, I believe there were no more than 25 lines in the first 20 minutes of this movie, like spoken at all. And it really felt like, you could tell that he was like, okay, first movie was I got that, but I got to really drive a message home with this one. Got to make sure they know I'm an artist, and I'm gonna do 5 baby heads in the desert. One of their eyes is closed. Don't know what that means. But doing all that, and then I don't know if you guys noticed. I didn't notice if it happened the first time, but that little like clear crystal ball. The last time they showed it on the ground, apparently somebody's like hitting it with a laser pointer.
It
Yes,
happens in the first
I did see
one.
that.
That was the first-
Because I'm gonna level with you. It's probably the same shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of repetitive shots here.
Yeah, he drives by that Jack in the Box a few times.
I think I have that in my notes.
I think the B-roll of him just driving down the Vegas Strip is from Double Down. Like I recognize that B-roll.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I also think I think that mall might have been around that Applebee's we drove by when we were in Vegas.
I was going to make the joke that the burned down building is the Applebee's. That there was just a little quick aside. We all went to Vegas for a wedding, and we were looking for a place to eat, and we were going to go to an Applebee's near us. It was closed down because there was a shooting that took place that day.
Yes.
So that's a little backstory there.
No one got to
Good.
eat. No one got to eat, and everybody went back to the Airbnb hangry as fuck.
Everyone was miserable.
It's terrible.
But everything, all the repeat shots. I mean, I don't know how many times he decided to use those girls laughing while holding their breast.
Oh my god.
Well, they get in the water and then they take a nap, and then all of a sudden they're standing in front of the guy holding their breast, giggling again.
Yeah. But
That water's freezing, by the way, too. They
I-
could not get in at all.
They don't want it.
I will say the part I laughed out loud, literally in my house by myself, was them trying to get on the floats.
Yeah.
Oh, and
in the
she
pool.
almost busts the back of her head open on the side of the pool.
And you see the hand off screen push the floaties towards them.
Oh yeah.
God, I missed all
You could
this.
just- Yeah, you see there's a little hand that pushes them towards the girls.
Oh my god.
That's so
And
funny.
the Dom Perignon is poured into the glasses, then they cut wide, not opened.
No.
He's like, I'm not wasting this bottle on this shot. This is fucking ginger ale.
Neil Breen, editing master.
There's a
Uh,
few
ac-
shots like that. I like going back to the undercover cop getting beaten up. He's bloodied, and then when Neil Breen approaches him in the wide shot, he's not bloodied. Next shot, bloody again.
Breen doesn't believe in continuity.
It doesn't vibe with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one moment where I got flashbacks to, I think, what was it, Double Down or whatever, wherever his friend like gets shot in the head or whatever, and he obviously was doing 4 different takes of the same line, but just left them in
The
together.
suicide line?
The
Yeah, I
suicide-
can't believe you committed suicide.
Yeah, that's
He rubs the blood all over himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get you out of this one, Jim.
because he
I think that's
absolutely did
fateful
that.
findings.
He absolutely did that again with that girl screaming when her boyfriend.
Oh, that was
Close enough.
terrible.
He's like, do it again. I'll cut this. Don't worry.
And
And then
vomiting
she's like
twice.
laughing. Yeah,
The
she's just laughing.
poor girl.
Oh man. And apparently nobody in Neil Breen's Las Vegas wears bras either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there were some dangerous shots.
Shots.
Like the couple in the beginning, I guess the drug addicts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one woman has the really low cut open shirt,
Yeah.
and there's a zoom in, and you could see some cleavage there, and it's like the wind's blowing. It's like very close,
Very dangerous.
too close to call.
Especially with editing master Neil Breen.
Exactly.
So, and I also love that they had a brick of powdered sugar next to them, because that's exactly what that cocaine looked like.
Mhm.
But yeah, all that stuff was just amazing. And at least this time when they showed that pool in this movie, it wasn't an underage girl going in there and being ogled by Neil Breen.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, but those girls wanted to be there just as little as that girl did.
That's right.
Man, this is the worst of the 3, because this was like the one where he's like, man, I made Double Down and that was a hit. So now the world is my oyster. I'm going to make a movie with 30% less plot, and I'm just going to go like super abstract with it. This is like his like Jodorowsky movie. This is like El Topo sometimes in the desert.
I was thinking, I don't know why, but I didn't think about this while I was watching, but it reminded me of like a Richard Kelly, right? Came out with Donnie Darko, and then amazing for its time. Then followed that up with like Southland Tales, I think.
Yeah,
and that was just dog shit.
Yeah,
just
for the fences, just like Breen.
So Double Down is Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that what we're saying?
Yes. Yes.
The math checks out. It's true.
Somehow Donnie Darko makes way more sense than Double Down.
It's all about the initials, right? DD and DD.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine at work about the difference between Breen and Tommy Wiseau. Is Tommy Wiseau kind of got caught up in his own bullshit, where he inadvertently made a hit, and now he's like doing it on purpose. He's making bad movies on purpose.
Yeah.
Neil Breen has zero self-awareness, and he thinks all of his movies are art.
Yeah. So, like, I always go back and forth with this. It's like, is he in on the joke because they're so obvious? You know, like his movies, his messages are so obvious, and it's just so like slamming you over the head with a sledgehammer. So it's almost like, does he know what he's doing?
Well, and you've seen his retrospective.
Yes, I have.
He's not in on the joke. He's so fucking serious. He is not tongue in cheek. That whole retrospective was him basically with his handout, just trying to get money for financing for his next movie.
What if he's Andy Kaufman though? What if that's Andy Kaufman reveals himself to be Neil Breen?
He's on another level then, if that's true.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, do you think Neil Breen has had a conversation with a woman?
Yeah, I think so. I just don't think they end well.
It's like, because my saying that is because he's obviously like older, and he always puts himself in with these like younger women, but he's always like very careful. They usually don't show nudity with it, so it's like it feels like he's trying to not be creepy, and in a way that makes it creepier.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So like if he was like an Andy Sedaris, which is like Malibu Express on like all those like really shitty like blondes in bikini movies, where like just out in front, super like, take your tops off for no reason, let's get in this hot tub and we'll shoot that. It seems those movies seem less creepy and less like exploitative than him nuzzling this 24-year-old girl with a Sasquatch mask or a like, is it a zombie? Is it a Bigfoot? I can't figure it out. I don't know what the imagery is.
Oh man! And until their noses touched, I 100% thought it was green screen. On top.
I think what makes it creepy is the atmosphere, right? There's nothing on the walls. It's like an empty room, so it looks like he kidnapped these women.
Yeah, it's true. It's the best hour late motel that he could find in Las Vegas.
Right. Yeah. It's not a homey looking room, right? It's not a lived in area. And sometimes there's music accompanying it, sometimes there's not. It's just depending on how he felt that day. Yeah. He's not doing himself any favors.
Mm.
I think we mentioned it maybe on the Double Down commentary that since he's a realtor, that a lot of his sets are just houses that he's showing because they seem staged. They don't seem like people live in them. And, that whole kind of abandoned feeling is probably part of that. Also, I think part of the creepiness for me, too, is the blocking of the women that are either taking their tops off or they have their, just like their thongs on or something like that. But they obviously don't want to show their naked bodies. Yeah. And he's totally okay with it.
Yeah, I 100% think that pool is in his house. He just
I think so too. That's the same pool, right? That's the same Fateful Findings pool.
He just never gets to use it, so it's just an excuse to have people actually use his pool.
That's the scene where he's quote unquote having a pool party with like 3 people.
Everybody pushed into the corner.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he puts in that ambient sound of many people being there, like 12
Yeah,
people.
yeah. That's one where the guy freaks out by the.
Oh, he gets drunk in
Yeah.
one. Yeah, okay.
And I think it's the same pool in Double Down in the tight corner when his wife gets shot.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's when
Oh
you
my
see
God.
the Breen butt.
Yeah,
Balls,
you get
too.
that green ass.
Yep.
Ass and balls. Yeah. We did get to see his tits in this one, which is always good, as he backwards walked out of the hotel room after fucking the girl.
I was just glad he brought that shot back too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
at
what's
the
in
end,
the movie.
man, it's such a wild ride from beginning to end. And you don't know where it's gonna go, which I like, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you can't do that in every single movie. You have to have a plot at one point or the other. You got to give us something. What are the rules that we're going on here?
Yep,
Yeah,
he
I'm-
breaks all the rules, man.
I'm still stuck on what the fuck those computer chips were at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, right.
That were on his. That's the last time you see him. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't.
he abandons them after that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
like-
I
And
mean,
I think
he uses the shots again at the end, but he
Yeah.
literally just like the beginning and the end are basically the same exact shots in
Yeah.
the same sequence, really.
Which goes to Dan's theory that the beginning of the movie is a completely different movie.
Yeah, like he kind of a day in the life this movie. Like he had one idea, like he's gonna be Jesus, I guess, and then he's gonna pivot towards sustainable energy. It's like, well, I guess I'll just put them together.
Yeah,
You're right. He had the stigmata wounds,
Yep.
Mhm.
except only on one side of his hand. It didn't go all the way through.
That's because of the computer chips.
That's right. They're in the way.
They left that part out in the Bible, I think. And lo and behold, Jesus had a sick ram.
They hammered in from the back of the cross into the hand, I guess.
Oh, there's just so much. Just going through the notes, he goes full Terminator on that one guy, takes his clothes, leaves him
Yes.
naked.
I got that same note written down.
I wish you would have said that. I need your boots, your jacket,
Hmm
in your car.
I say, fuck it, throw Adam Baldwin in there. I think that's who it was.
Oh no,
Bill
I know-
Paxton?
Bill
Or
Paxton.
was it Bill
yes.
Paxton? Okay.
yeah.
I think the most confusing part and the most hilarious part was the old man wheelchair bit. I mean, this
Oh, yeah.
character lasted a long time and was in every scene. And then he made him a younger man, and then they just married each other on the street. It seems. I don't understand. Like, this guy's old. Like, did Breen make him an old? Like, was he an 82-year-old mind in this young body, or is that him as a young man? Like, I don't know what happened there.
I don't know.
I think
But
he,
very
quote
confusing.
unquote, fixed him.
Yeah.
And then as he started walking, he's going to just wind up marrying one of those strippers.
Yeah, that's right.
Seems like
Oh yeah, they're
one of the
married. He's got a
twins.
kid
Yeah.
now. He has a kid. By the way.
Well, sort of a kid. It's kind of a fake baby.
Oh,
Wheelchair guy is also one of my favorites, just because he cancer chemo is kicking my ass. He says that multiple times.
and everybody
Says that he-
hates him.
Everybody hates him. The one guy pushes him down, but like holds his head. Like he doesn't really push him
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Like he gently like lays him down.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
cancer chemo is kicking my ass guy. He's like, I always wanted to see this, but it's the fucking Las Vegas sign. What are we doing here?
It's across the street from where he's staying.
Yeah, you're sleeping in rubble 40 feet from it. Just go see it.
Yeah. And
Also, how bad is the making all the actors freeze frame?
Oh,
They were walking and they just stopped.
Oh my god!
the older guy had a hard time holding it.
Yeah,
You kind of see his hand kind of shaking.
yeah.
yeah, and the extras they had there or whatever just had
Oh,
no concept of breaking the fourth wall.
No,
Just looked directly into the camera.
terrible.
But that's
The effect is great too when like the traffic is still moving.
Oh my god! I know the whole world did not stop for that scene. I'm sorry.
The funniest thing about the wheelchair guy is when after he turns young, there's like 2 or 3 seconds where he's still in the wheelchair, and I thought Breen was just gonna leave him in the wheelchair and just make him younger.
Make him have to live more time in the wheelchair.
You only get one or the other. I can't do both.
That would be amazing.
He just wheels next to his new bride and his fake baby.
That woman has done so many has so many wrong ideas. Right? She goes into escorting right after getting laid off,
Yeah.
and then she marries a random guy off the street that she just saw.
Well, I mean, with the escorting, her sister basically told her she doesn't have a choice.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
so mad at her.
He was like, oh, they made the point out to you multiple times that they were twins.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
twins.
Like,
But yeah, why was she so mad at her sister?
She was really pissed off. I think it was because she was already escorting, and she's like, well, you're not better than me. You got to start hooking.
Yeah, because at first I thought it was a joke. Like, oh, you could always be an escort. Ha, 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 ha. No, you're going to fucking do this.
You might not have a choice.
It's been one day since you've been laid off.
And then they just show up to the random abandoned lot of just businessmen and gangsters hanging out. And they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get two of these guys in me at the same time.
Oh yeah.
He says that immediately.
It's some of the ugliest people you can imagine.
Like,
And
I
settles
don't,
for Breen at the end.
I don't mind having any of these two guys in me.
Oh.
Well, if you get inside the mind of Breen, you have to think when he's casting, he's like, all right, all these guys, I got to be the best looking guy on this set. So these are all the guys that he thinks are uglier.
That's true.
That's my theory.
And then you have all these older men, but then you have a jacked black dude who's just like easily the best looking and probably the coolest one out of all of them.
Yeah, he probably delivers his lines the best.
I was going to say he might be the best actor in the movie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't understand his process in anything. It's a mystery.
That's why he's obviously the leader. He's the alpha, Dan.
That's true. He does display alpha mentality. The
Well, yeah, he
look
shoots that one dude.
the look he gives the woman when he shoots the I guess the boyfriend, it's like this piece of trash, but blows him away, and he's giving her that like bitch please look.
What a wild ride.
I did love the accidental extras in the package stealing scene when he's running with those two bags and those people are getting out of the car and they're just kind of looking at him running by. Like,
Should we call the cops?
should we call the cops? What's going on?
I'll tell you guys the scene that broke me was towards the end when the one sister, the one with the angel wings on her back.
Which I thought was going to become something, but
Yeah,
the
it
just
should have.
coincidence.
But when she's wandering the desert asking Neil Breen to wait for her, and he reaches a hand out behind the camera, it just slowly comes into view behind the camera. That scene broke me as a person.
So, I Am Here Now, from 2009, directed by Neil Breen, who needs no introduction. Stars Neil Breen, Joy Sen, Elizabeth Sikora, George Gingerelli, Murad Ford, Jason Perrin, Ron Schoenwolf, Herbert Allen, Ali Banks, and Tommy Vegas. IMDb score of 4.4, Rotten Tomatoes score of 57%. Audience only. Audience only. Budget, nothing. Box office, nothing. Couldn't find any information on that. This movie doesn't even have its own Wikipedia.
I think the end of the movie is just basically pointing you to his website.
Yeah. Although this movie is no longer available at that website.
Yeah. Oh man, sold out.
Yep. I think the at the very least in the trailer, the opening title card says written, directed, and craft service by Neil Breen.
No way.
So this is like sort of the thing where I'm like, okay, he knows something's up, right? We could put that in there, and maybe it's not the official trailer that I saw and grabbed, but it seemed like it.
Yeah.
It does say it at the end, right? Like craft services by Neil Breen.
Right, but this opens the trailer.
Oh, okay. That's weird. What the hell?
So,
do you think the craft services like he bought some like random food and fed them, or do you think he actually ordered like good food for these people?
I think it's probably a lot like when Trump bought all the McDonald's.
For the football team, the college football team?
The college football team when the government was shut down for that week.
Yeah, it was Jack in the Box here.
Yeah, that's how they kept showing it.
That's why he was always there.
Listen, if you guys give me 50 burgers,
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55
if you give me this, I will free of charge put the Jack in the Box logo in my movie no less than 10 times.
free of charge, like he would charge them for the logo.
All right, you guys want to get into the plot?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
All right. Dan, what do you got for us?
Real quick, because I want to go right into this movie. Please go check out our two friends, Game Vault Podcast and Top 10 with Tia. Both great podcasts. Top 10 with Tia is a weekly podcast. You could go find that on geekvibesnation.com. The Game Vault Podcast is another good friend of ours. Mark is one of the hosts. It's a video game podcast where they talk about old games that they're currently playing, and game news. They are available anywhere you get your podcasts of choice. So please go rate and review them. And that's it.
Okay, great. We're going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to some messages from friends of the podcast. So we will be right back.
Hey, this is Ken M.
And Padawan J.
from the ODPH podcast.
Each week, we talk a parlay of topics.
That's right, whether it's sports, pro wrestling, movies, TV, comics, and more, we've got a take on it.
And don't forget, odphpodcast.com for links for Patreon, TeePublic, and the Parlay Points blogs, and much more.
Thanks for listening to the ODPH podcast. Now back to your regularly scheduled show.
Welcome, travelers. Seems like you're looking for a story. Well, I got one for you. It involves adventure, friendship, and all sorts of...
Earl, why don't you tell him about that time I stole that big-ass melon?
Yeah, I was going for more...
Or you could tell him about the time I kicked her ass, Earl.
I wouldn't ever tell them.
Do I need to get my ref gear on?
Okay, everyone, shut up. Now come with me as I tell you a story from afar. Hey everybody, my name's David. I'm the DM for From Afar Podcast. From Afar Podcast is all about four friends separated by distance, but brought together by adventure. Hope you all stop by and give us a listen. Thanks.
And welcome back. Now it's time to get into the plot for I Am Here Now. We open on some ethereal stock footage of the cosmos, like it's a Carl Sagan documentary. Then we have a shot of two moons, which then explode for some reason. Then a title card of I Am Here, ... now. That not only has 4 periods in the ellipses, but also builds it out individually, so there's no mistaking it. That's confidence right there.
Yeah.
It's like, not only am I going to put 4 dots in this ellipsis, I'm going to build it out so you know it is.
Yeah, and maybe it was just me, and have to look it back, but I think he puts a little extra time between the third and fourth one going. You think it's done. Here's the fourth one.
Is that his way of saying, I know it's only supposed to be 3, but I'm doing my thing?
He's counterculture.
Yeah.
Turn up to 11.
Then something crash lands in the Nevada desert, and we get sweeping shots of the desert. We then come to the crash site and see a crystal ball of some sort, and someone shooting a laser pointer at it. Then a shadow of a cross, and a figure steps off the cross to reveal wounded feet and computer chips on its arms.
Yeah, at this point when they showed the shadow of the cross thing, it's the one time when I wanted us to be like live commentating it. As soon as I saw it, my first reaction, I just went, "Oh Lord," out loud. I don't know why. I didn't make the context. I was like, "Oh."
As we mentioned in our last episode, God appears as something that you're in a figure that you're comfortable with. So God to you, Mark, is Neil Breen.
Makes sense. Yeah, maybe I should get checks for a brain tumor as well.
You might want to. And then a shadow of a cross. It's none other than Neil Breen wearing computer parts on himself as he just unemotionally stares slightly off camera as it switches back between him and also him, but in some sort of prehistoric zombie mask.
Like, wait, hold on.
What?
I'm sorry. That's never explained, right? I didn't miss anything.
I was going to say, I don't understand the imagery of it. Not that I understand the imagery of most of this movie, but specifically that one is a head scratcher.
Is it supposed to be that's his true form? And he's...
that's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he's
And
switching back and forth.
He takes Neil Breen as his earthling form.
That's his Earth avatar.
But his real form has a 1990s mushroom haircut. It's fucking. It's so stupid.
Oh, I
like-
realized what the mask looks like to me. He looks like the zombie from Hocus Pocus.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Billy, right? Billy is the character's name.
I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay,
The
good.
one with like the sewn mouth, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's got the crazy black hair and the lines on the mouth. Yeah, I think maybe it's a zombie mask. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was cheap. That's all we know.
Mhm.
That's the imagery behind it. It was the cheapest mask you could find at the dollar store. He then holds up the crystal ball, and then we see a line of crosses, which are maybe like 2 feet high. He's trying to do some trick photography like he's Lord of the Rings. And Neil Breen tells no one in particular that he's disappointed in their species. And he clarifies and says the human species.
Because there's a spider next to the skull.
He's like, oh,
He's
not
doing
you
great.
guys.
Yeah.
You guys are doing
You guys
just
are fucking
fine.
killing it. Yeah.
You're doing exactly what I put you on this earth for. So
You're moving around statically without your legs moving whatsoever.
oh, that cracked me up. Like, who's he talking to? And the next shot is the spider. Like, oh, I get it now. Okay.
We get some more abstract imagery of skulls and roses and fake spiders as Neil walks through the desert. He mentions that the other planets in the solar system are doing better than Earth. Then talks to a skull asking it why are the humans failing, and then walks past a bunch of baby doll heads.
I would love to get the timing because I think it's 9 minutes for the first time that a character talks to another human in this movie. Like that, it's just not Neil Breen walking in the desert doing voiceover or talking to spiders.
You can't count Neil Breen as a human either. It's
that's
inconclusive
true.
at this point. We then cut to a couple of junkies in the desert who have decided to drink some beers and practice some very unsafe gun habits in the back of their pickup.
And those
then
totally not toy guns from the same dollar store.
The guy then just shoots up some heroin.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No. Not so fast, there.
Yeah, they cut away, and when they cut back, the plunger is still filled with liquid. So he did nothing.
He's just putting on a show.
Yeah, he's trying to impress his girlfriend.
Not so fast there, Dan. He says, "I'm so high, I want you so bad," and then he unbuttons one of her buttons, and then he shoots up. It's like, "Want you so bad, he got so tired. Oh God, I need more heroin."
Well, that was a lot of movement.
It was.
Yeah, it's it. One button per shoot up.
Right.
That's why she was already 2 down when we met her.
I like this guy's method of shoot first and then ask questions. In both shooting heroin and shooting his gun.
Sure, yeah, exactly. And Breen shows up, and the guy immediately puts 2 bullets in Breen's chest. But Breen says that human weapons cannot harm him, and he waves his hand, and his wounds are gone.
Great editing.
Does his hand look superimposed to you guys when he waves it? It looks like the hand doesn't belong there. Or is it just bad special effects?
I think it's just the effects of his hand looking supposed to glow.
Oh man, it's terrible. Whatever it is.
And so the 2 junkies think they've died and gone to heaven. He tells them that they're not dead, and he created humans as an experiment, and he's disappointed in them, so that's why he's shown up on Earth. And they say, "Let's get out of here," and go to run.
And
what's that?
While we were on break, I don't know if you heard us talking, but we mentioned that we asked the question, we posited, is Neil Breen the space jockey from Alien, where he comes down and kind of like creates life?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think Ridley Scott ripped off of I Am Here, ... now?
For Prometheus?
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. I'll say it's probable.
Prove us wrong, Ridley Scott.
Yeah. That's how he should have just when bad reviews came in from Prometheus, well, this is really kind of my remake of a shitty movie, so it makes sense.
I did it better.
I do think since we're on this scene in the desert, I do feel like he could have made this movie seem a little bit bigger, even with stock footage. Like he is this being checking in on the Earthlings, but yet he's only checking on a few people in Vegas, not like anywhere else on the planet. And he could have just done a stock footage of Times Square or I don't know, Paris or something, but he just stays in Vegas, just checking on a few people. That's it.
Yep.
I could totally see him like superimposing his face over the rest of the world, just like him looking down sternly.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that. It's a very small movie.
This is only his second movie, guys.
Sorry.
And it's Sin City. That's why.
That's true. Yeah, he's at the worst place.
Yeah.
I think Pass Through is when he starts superimposing himself into like stock footage shots of tigers and stuff.
Tigers.
I was gonna say that's a tiger movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and with the eagle and the tiger, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, genius.
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 Hey.
And then Breen freezes them and strips the dude of his clothes. Then tells him that he had to freeze them and then turn them invisible, but it's only temporary. I don't know why he does this to this particular couple. He doesn't do it to anybody else. He steals their truck and drives away.
Why did he need to freeze them and disappear them? Couldn't he just disappear them?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, then what? They're just walking around invisible?
Oh, I thought he like banished them somewhere.
To the Phantom Zone?
No, they stayed on the ground till the
They were
end of the
there
movie.
the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Just cooking in the desert.
But they were invisible, so it didn't actually cook them.
Oh,
God,
okay.
I didn't know that. I thought he like sent them somewhere.
I'm pretty sure they're
No.
face down the entire time.
Can we look up now, Neil? No, we're not done with this take yet.
Stay in that exact position. Oh my God.
It's where Neil from Double Down left his car, right? Doesn't he have like that
Yeah.
invisible force field thing too?
Oh my God.
A lot of similar themes coming through here.
Breen continues about his gripes with humans, specifically that it's taken them so long to figure out solar energy. It's so specific.
Oh,
He drives towards Vegas as we're treated to stock footage of wind farms. He gets to Vegas and we see shots of hotels and out of context shots of girls in a pool.
it's like 3 minutes of him driving silently.
Yes.
Like it would have made more sense. Like maybe have the radio playing, talking about all the bad stuff happening. Like another school shooting and the stock market at an all-time high. Blah blah blah. Or although it was 2009, so the market crashed, which they talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, instead of it just being awkward silence for 3 minutes and him looking at his mirrors to make sure he's being safe.
That actually makes sense of why he's so angry at lawyers and corporate greed is the crash of 2008, 2009. And he was a realtor. Like that would have affected his business. He's super pissed in this.
So he's mad at green energy and he's just mad at the market in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the housing bubble popped. Yeah, he must have been
Absolutely.
down bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he was already pissed off, but in like Double Down. So for now,
Right,
right. Post crash, because Double Down came out in 2005, so he's already on that. And then like crash happened, and he was even worse.
Yeah. Now all his feelings show up on screen.
He's got to be on a watch list, isn't he? This is every single one of his movies is a manifesto. If he
call for help.
if Neil Breen's to ever kill somebody, these are going to be like exhibit 1 through 5.
Oh yeah. he has members of the the government crucified in this movie. You cannot get any more symbolic than actually crucifying your enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love
did that in the first movie too.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't take the time to make sure nobody knew that all those pieces of wood came from the Home Depot.
Oh, I had the same thing, Mark.
They all had the stamps letting you know
Oh, yeah,
kind of what it was.
No
going on.
way.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god.
Like the blue markings on it.
Yeah.
Then three guys in suits stand on the street talking about vague things, but being really proud of themselves over something that they're alluding to. Whoever is planning to use "quote unquote" something are in for a surprise. Apparently,
It has to be the solar energy.
it's yeah. Breen passes the same Jack in the Box 5 or 6 times, and we get long, silent moments of driving down the strip. Then we slowly pan over twice to an office park where three women are talking outside. Just really on the nose conversation about environmental measures, which I guess these three women work for some sort of green energy company.
Everybody talks in exposition.
Yeah. And
We're so
young-
close to getting this solar energy passed through the government. Yeah, we're really making a breakthrough.
My favorite line of meeting all the other characters is when you first meet the group of old guys, and then you come in literally what sounds like the middle of the conversation, and the guy says something like, they think they're going to do something, but they won't do it, and then he walks away. And I'm like, wait, what are they talking about?
And the young blonde is very excited to work for the company and all that they do. And then somewhere else, three old men in suits struggle up a flight of steps as Neil Breen talks about greed, lying lawyers, and insurance companies. How all of these have ruined what he created. But don't worry, he's going to eliminate them all. His exact words.
The shot of the person with just stacks of fat cash, just pushing them towards the camera.
Yep. He's going to eliminate them. He's going to eliminate them all, including the guy that keeps pushing a stack of money across the table and the stock footage he keeps using.
Yeah, part of my anxiety was just wanting him to make it all even as he was stacking it. I'm like, no, just get one more. Just get it be even. Just.
Then a couple old guys talk about how they squashed a green energy bill, which fattens their pockets, and some more really on-the-nose conversation about the American public and greed. And then those three women talk again outside, and the boss just fires the two girls right there because of corrupt politicians.
On the spot.
What did she say? There's nothing I could do. It's the lawyers and the politicians. It's always the lawyers and the politicians.
It's not even like an exit interview. Just like, all right, you guys, you can go home. Just don't bother going back into the office.
I think this is how Neil Breen thinks business goes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. There is no decorum. It's just, yep, this is what's happening, and that's it.
And Neil Breen was just upset about as we mentioned, the housing market crash because it stopped him from being the number one real estate agent in Las Vegas.
That's kind of my idea about Neil Breen as a filmmaker, is that he's like, well, this is what I think they do in movie. This is what I think a script should look like.
Yeah.
I don't have time,
but
I don't have time to do these random dialogues, right? Explaining what's going on with why you're fired, this, that, and the other thing. I'm just gonna make it really on the nose.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the business guys have to be like, well, as long as this money keeps on getting kicked back to me and in my pocket, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah. It's stock villain, essentially.
Yes.
It's a placeholder villain kind of thing, right? Like just greedy corporate businessman, and that's it.
Is Neil Breen's writing? Is he the original ChatGPT?
Oh wow, maybe. Chat Breen tea. What?
Yeah.
There could have been there.
AI wishes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his just dialogue comes out. It's like they're literally explaining their motivations.
Yeah. There's no subtlety.
Yeah. The boss then goes to walk back inside, but Neil Breen gives her a rose, telling her not to give up, and she happily just walks inside with it, and we never see her again.
Thank you for saying. I was going to say, and that's the last we see of her.
At first, I thought that rose was dead when it
was.
Yeah, it was like crooked. It was like
at
a right angle.
Yeah, I think it's the first
and then
time.
It's like everything's okay, and then it just pops right back up.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first time when they actually swapped out a prop between cuts.
We get some out of context blood being spilled on the desert floor, a couple of guys playing with fake guns, and then the girl that just got fired walks her fake baby in a stroller with her sister, her twin sister. I have to make sure that we knew that. And her sister immediately tells her that she should become an escort. And she gets really mad about her sister not immediately jumping at the opportunity, but she says she has someone she could set her up with for an escort job. And then she says she's desperate, so might as well. I never learned these girls' names. I don't think they were ever given.
When in Vegas.
And then they really slowly walk down the neighborhood street, and a kid on a bike gets distracted by their hotness and crashes his bike.
Oh my god.
That was the like real life equivalent of that meme photo of the guy sticking the pipe in his bike wheel and falling over. That's all I thought of when that happened.
Look what those twins did to me.
Yeah.
Is he the undercover cop?
No.
I don't think so. That would have been amazing,
That'd be
though.
great.
What a twist.
Because I think it's the same character.
I think he is. Yeah,
Is he?
I think so.
it's the same actor at the very
Oh,
I
least.
think it's the same actor. I don't know if it's the same character.
Yeah. Maybe he's playing dual roles.
I think he's just a kid. Maybe just because
I
I
don't
knew
know.
on a bike. I just assumed he was a child.
He has the same nerdy voice.
I don't see kid or man on bike. I just see man in wheelchair. I see corporate lawyer. I don't
Yeah, you
see I see gang member. I don't see man on bike. So I'm thinking could be the same guy.
That's what caused him to hate those women, right? Like, doesn't he has like a vendetta against them?
Well, I think he was trying to. Maybe that's how he found out about the escort business or something.
Oh, okay.
Went right over my head. If that's
Yeah.
what Breen is doing.
Neil Breen out there playing 4D chess.
Oh my God.
Also, the sister doesn't wait until they're alone. They wait until they're on a walk with the baby to just be like, "You should totally sell your body for."
Yeah.
It's like my kid is right. I'm pushing the kid right here.
You're
Like,
hot.
you can't wait.
I'm hot. We're hot.
You're hot. I'm hot. We're hot. We're twins. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the actual dialogue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I mean, that's what twins say all the time. It's like, holy shit, we're twins.
Right.
I mean, fucking amazing.
Yeah, if you say you're hot, then you're automatically hot as well
Mhm.
because you're twin. Yeah. It's a
It seemed
dumb
like
conversation.
it seemed like throughout the movie it just would randomly occur to the one sister that they were twins. Like it was a new idea.
Yeah.
Like you see the light go off. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. You're hot. I'm hot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this.
Starts complimenting her, but really complimenting herself. You're hot. You're really great at conversation. You're really good with people. Like I'm talking to myself. Okay.
Yeah, none of that shines through, by the way. Like these girls just go into hooking and
Immediately.
that's it. Yeah, there's no real development there. It's just one scene, we should do this. Next scene, we're doing it.
Did he cast her because of her angel wing tattoos, or was that just like a bonus? Like, holy shit, this is kismet. Everything is coming together.
Oh no, he saw her back way before he cast it.
I couldn't help notice your angel wing tattoos. How would you like to be in a movie?
Hey, come down off that stage. Let me talk to you real quick.
20 more bucks, mister.
Also, the sister that was laid off, and when she's asked to be a stripper, she's like, "I have a child." Strippers have children.
Yeah,
It's not only single women.
That's usually how the story goes.
Typically, yeah.
Every time that girl was on screen, I just thought, man, she does not have the skin for Vegas.
Oh, she is see-through pale.
As someone that's also see-through pale, I was just like, man, I hope you got sunscreen on.
Well, she's inside all the time, so
Hooking.
she works night.
Yeah. Doing it during the day. Well, one, I'm assuming you're not going to get as many tricks, and two, it's killing her skin.
Yeah.
But and she's got to watch her kid too.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
I also went back and looked, and inconclusive of whether or not the undercover cop is also the guy on the bike. I can't tell.
Oh, okay.
Neil Breen then walks to City Hall talking about how humans have failed to create a justice system that punishes the guilty. And then the girls go to an abandoned lot where a bunch of guys holding guns and also those businessmen are just hanging out together waiting to get propositioned by aspiring escorts. And then one sister is ready to get tag teamed by any two of the guys there.
Have some self-respect, lady.
This poor
on the
girl.
street.
She's screams, you hired a stripper to be in your movie energy.
Yeah. She's giving them the fuck me eyes too. Like she has that down pat.
Yeah. These girls are such hot commodities that one guy gets shot in the arm because one guy wants dibs on the new girl.
He gets shot point blank in the wrist, and it doesn't blow his hand off.
Pretty aggressive move. But the guy that shot the other guy gives the blonde a wad of cash and tells her to come with him. So they go off to fuck, presumably. And then the old guys get together to bribe each other over certain votes that someone is going to have an unfortunate quote-unquote accident. And we cut to the desert as someone is being butchered and narrates the whole thing. And they get their ear cut off and their arm chopped off. And they tell the guy, the politician, not to tell anybody about it when you hear about it. And it's like, well, then you shouldn't have told them.
Right.
Surprise.
Yeah. He would be surprised if you didn't tell him anything. And they really linger on the shot of the guy's hand for a good minute and a half.
I mean, I feel like you could say that about every single shot in this movie.
I just keep saying, end cut. And cut.
You gotta get to that 129, man.
That's true.
Then one of the old men in suits tells the politician they're going to send a thank you gift later. Then we cut to the same pool from Fateful Findings, and the sisters are now officially escorts as they are the gift to this politician. And they giggle and go into the pool and just generally act incredibly uncomfortable to be there at all. And the politician just says, "Double my pleasure."
The dialogue in this scene is great. It's like, oh, I'll definitely make use of this gift. I definitely will.
I just love the cutting back to the guy slowly getting it like more undressed.
Yes.
As it goes.
Am I the only one? You guys, be honest. When they throw their bikini tops at him, did you think he was going to smell them?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's just like wadding them up. Like he doesn't know exactly what to do with them.
Yeah, it's like smell them. That's the natural thing. Come
Right.
on.
That's the
What do you do? Put them in your pocket for later?
100% he was worried. He wanted to smell them, but then I think Neil Breen had a rule on set to not be creepy.
Only I could be the creepy one.
It's the one time he yelled cut is when that guy started smelling.
What are you doing? You look like a creep.
Cut. What are you doing? It's not in the script.
No ad-libbing. I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
I do think that guy was casted correctly. Like he kind of fit the part more than the other like old white homeless guys that he threw in suits later on.
Yeah. Oh, especially the guy with the southern accent. That guy was terrible.
These guys, they were homeless men on the Vegas Strip. He's like, "Come with me. You're gonna come in a suit." You know. But I feel like the pool guy. I feel like he was casted correctly, and he kind of filled that role out pretty well.
Yeah,
it's like the only positive thing I got.
That's why he's not in the rest of the movies because he was too good.
He was too good.
Is it too high of a quote after this movie? We get some lingering shots of the girls struggling to get on pool floats. One of them nearly cracking their head on the side of the pool.
That was rough.
Oh man.
Then the girls get out of the pool to take their tops off with the politician and then just kind of hold their tits as they nervously giggle some more. Just these poor girls.
Oh my God.
Nobody wants to be there less. Then they slowly walk backwards into the pool so this movie can avoid an R rating, maybe. And champagne is poured for a very long time, which might be my favorite shot of the entire movie.
Yeah, me and my wife were yelling, "One more, one more!"
Just got to make sure they're all even, right?
Oh.
And then they toast. And we then cut to a man in a wheelchair waking up in an abandoned, rundown building. And we watch in excruciating detail him pull himself out of the rubble into his chair, then rolls himself down the street towards the Las Vegas sign. And Neil Breen shows up at the same abandoned building and watches as this guy in a wheelchair and some random dude run into each other. So the random guy tosses the guy in the wheelchair on the ground. And Neil Breen shows up and makes the random guy's eyes bleed and tells the guy in the wheelchair that he wants to help him. So he pulls the guy up and puts him in a chair, then freezes a couple of people in place so the wheelchair guy who has cancer and is dying could see the Las Vegas sign before he dies. Which, you know, like, I bet you if Make-A-Wish Foundation found that wish, like, man, this right to the top, because this is easy. We get this done in an afternoon.
Yeah, it's a very easy one. Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like, Breed's just like, yep, well, there it is. All right, let's go.
You had enough yet? Okay.
That guy could die happy. Like, you could see it in his face. Like, yep, all my life is worth it now. I saw this fucking stupid 8-foot sign.
Aim higher, my man. They have a fake Eiffel Tower, like, down the road.
That's true.
He can't go any higher. He's in a wheelchair.
It's not like he can go on the Stratosphere roller coaster either. Then we go back to the abandoned lot where businessmen and gun-toting gangsters make some shady deals. Fight breaks out, and one guy pulls a knife on the other guy, and everyone just watches like it's a cockfight. Then they introduce an European investor for some assorted crime, so now this random street gang has international ties for some reason.
Is that the long-haired guy?
Yeah.
That guy's amazing.
You know that guy, he does tap solos on his guitar. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of those crazy European guitar solo from the 80s.
He's so that guy. I couldn't understand him.
No, he has one line in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand a word he said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he like owns a bodega near where Neil Breen works or something.
Yeah, like he saw them shooting and just asked, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, shooting a movie. Do you want to be in it?" "Yeah, why not?"
I would love to, Neil.
Well, Tommy Wiseau, when'd you get here?
Oh, that's right.
It's the crossover we need.
Oh, hi, Neil.
No. And the businessmen are there, and they're talking stiltedly at the camera for some reason, talking about how much they love bribes, drugs, and women. The sisters are there too, and they're just spiraling into addiction. Even though one has a fake baby, but her sister is too high, she doesn't care as long as the money rolls in.
Is this the same day? Is this all one day?
I wanted to ask you guys, what is the time frame of this movie?
And
It's now. He's here now.
It's not tomorrow. Now.
We never see a night shot.
We don't.
Vegas, baby.
Crazy things happen, yeah.
Yeah.
But the real city that never sleeps.
He can't shoot that night. It's too busy.
He's just not talented enough to do so either.
To his credit, at least he didn't do day for night shots or night for day shots.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. Yeah.
So I give him credit.
Pull that off.
He probably tried and couldn't figure it out.
Right, yeah. Understand your enemy. My enemy is darkness. I can't shoot him.
Do any of his movies take place at night?
That's a good question. I don't know
I think there's some overnight shots in Double Down, but that could be B-roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought from that one trailer we watched, but maybe that was Twisted Pair or something where he blows up the building. I think that seems like it's night, but that could also be CG.
There's some night shots in that one, yeah.
Okay.
He got the confidence to shoot at night in that one.
Yeah.
You got a guest editor. Someone else just did it while he was away. He came back and said, "Who did this?"
Well, all the strippers and pimps that he hires work at night, so they're free during the day. This whole cast and crew.
Neil Breen then follows the wheelchair guy some more and watches him almost get hit by a car. So Neil Breen makes those guys' eyes bleed too.
I don't think he unfreezes them.
He doesn't.
They're just stuck there in perpetuity.
Then the escort sister also gets fired from her job, where she was also working for some sort of renewable resource company. I guess it's like the unsung economy of Las Vegas. These renewable resource companies.
Oh, solar
also,
energy.
Just what twins do. They have the same jobs sometimes. Well, we're twins. We can both be into sustainable energy, of course.
Now, wait, Angel Wings, she still has a job? Like, did she still work there?
Apparently.
So, you can't hire the sister? You pushing her into prostitution?
I am so confused by this because are these stories taking place in a linear timeline, or is he kind of flashing back to when the first sister who started stripping lost her job, and now he's going to go back in time and save her?
Consider that. Yeah.
Because why would she do? Right. That's it. Like he goes to save her before she makes her mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how.
You're giving Breen too much credit here.
It's probably true, right? It's like maybe that's what I saw, but that's not what happened at all.
He got lucky with the edit, I guess.
Maybe. I don't understand the flow of time in this movie.
There's no flow. There's no flow at all.
Also in this scene, real quick, the woman that fires the stripper, and I write this down, tells her it's all about money corporately. Corporately? What are you talking? Is that a word? What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, corporations are about money typically, so she's not wrong. But what are you trying to get at?
She's not wrong, but maybe the word
The wording is
isn't right.
terrible.
No, the word is definitely wrong. No, it's not a maybe. It's definitely wrong.
I just
And
don't
the-
understand the point she's trying to make.
No, and the guy there is terrible.
Oh, he's might be the worst actor in this movie. But like English might not be his first language.
The older guy, like he
Yeah.
looks like he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he again, he just speaks very matter of factly, doesn't he? It's just like it's all about the lawyers and the what was it?
Insurance companies.
Yeah.
He really hates insurance companies.
Yeah, this one he really hates insurance. They didn't bail him out in fucking 2008.
They didn't cover his hair plugs or something like that.
They said it wasn't necessary. What do you mean it's not necessary?
Got 20 grand now.
My deductible went up for my DUI. I mean,
Well, that's the lawyers. The lawyers couldn't get him off the DUI charges.
they're in cahoots.
So the sister and her boyfriend, apparently, who was also worked there, maybe sitting on a park bench. And I guess he doesn't have a job either. They both decide themselves that they're going to start to do some sort of things to make money. She'll continue being an escort and he'll join a gang. They walk off, but not before she sees Neil Breen, and she says she thinks she knows him. Then we have a scene in which Breen and this poor girl are in bed together. Sometimes he's Neil Breen, and other times he has this Bigfoot zombie mask on. And we get to see him shirtless as he slowly walks back out of the room after he's fucked this girl. So this kind of...
So this Supreme Being, he had enough time to lay some pipe.
Yes, absolutely.
In between, healing everybody. Like, listen, I
Mm-hmm.
I got to get mine.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'll just save this girl after, but before.
Which is really disgusting because when you think about it, he created these beings, and he's just like, I created these things.
Right.
I have to fuck with one of them though.
I got to see what all the
Yep. Mm-hmm. I made them do this act, but I got to see for myself what that's all.
So I have sort of a theory. I have a sort of a theory about this. Towards the end of the movie, when they're in the desert and they're doing like the weird nuzzle thing when he's in the zombie mask, there's like a quick shot of them in bed together, then a quick shot of one of those baby doll heads. I feel like he impregnated her with his Jesus.
Oh,
Is she like the Marion?
She's carrying the Neil Breen God baby.
Is she like Mary Magdalene?
Sure, yeah.
Isn't
but
like
with great tattoos though.
right? Or there's the theory that Jesus had a wife and had a kid with her.
Right.
So,
I'm saying Breen is God and that baby in her womb.
Oh,
is
that's Jesus. Okay.
New Jesus.
Mm.
I think this is also giving Neil Breen too much credit.
Yeah.
and that Jesus turned out to be Neil Breen.
Yes. Blonde's sister is slowly walking down the neighborhood street again with her fake baby. And the wheelchair guy walks past, or doesn't walk past her, wheels past her, and gives her a toy that her kid dropped. But then Neil Breen waves his hand and turns the old man into a young guy with a bad haircut. He tells him and the blonde girl to go and be a family together. So they walk on, and he makes the wheelchair disappear. Meanwhile, the other sister's boyfriend is getting busy stealing shit out of people's cars, then goes to the abandoned lot to tell the gang that he wants to join them. But they're mad that he's stealing shit on their turf, so they slit his throat and show his girlfriend who screams, not once, not twice, but thrice. And then throws up several times too, which is that's the one that got me the most. It's like when she kept having to throw up. That made me laugh. And then the gang leader shoots his body for no reason, telling her that there's more crazy shit she'll see tonight.
Is the crazy shit his dick?
I mean, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
But it also then immediately he says there's undercover cop in their midst. So they all grab one guy, tie him up, and beat the shit out of him.
I 100% wanted to be the guy with the long white hair and the glasses to be the cop.
He's Interpol.
Yeah, it's like, wait, the fuck are you doing here?
The European Syndicate?
Oh man, yeah, I love that scene because the undercover cop doesn't know what way to move his head. Like he's the big black guy's punching him in the back of the head. Like when he gets hit, his head moves like sideways.
It felt personal.
Oh, it's a great scene. It's a quality scene.
Yeah, and I love the guy that lazily hands him the 5 feet of rope or whatever it was. Give me the rope.
They cut his finger off.
Yes.
Right? They cut his finger off. Does Neil Breen heal him for that or no?
It's indecisive.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see, right?
We don't see. He does wave his hand and he runs off like not bloodied. So I assume, but he waits for it to happen.
He lets him get his ass
the whole
kicked.
time. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to see how this plays out. So Neil Breen watches for a long time before he steps in, allows him to get the shit beat out of him, and then he gets his finger cut off before Neil steps in and freezes everyone, and uses his special powers to clean up the cop and tells him to run, which he does like he's about to shit his pants. Then, while everyone is still frozen, he takes the sister and leads her away and crucifies the businessmen and the gangsters. We get some abstract scenes in the desert with Neil Breen holding a cross with bloody hands. He talks about how he eliminated the corrupt politicians, those that believe in violence, those who pollute the planet, and he'll eliminate them all if the humans won't. Again, this is, feds should probably be looking into him. He then tells the darker-haired sister she's free and that she should go and learn to love herself and humanity. They embrace, and he says he has made her strong enough to save herself. Sounds like some Jesus shit. I help those who help themselves.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do 2 Christian movies in 2 weeks in a row, but here we are.
I think it's a stretch to call this Christian.
Well, it's definitely a God complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neil Breen then wakes up in the back of the pickup that he stole in the first scene. Then he rides around on the desert floor telling the humans to love themselves and respect nature. Then he takes off his clothes that he stole from the guy in the first scene, and they reappear. And he wakes them up and tells them to go now and contribute, provide for their fellow man and the planet, and not to waste their lives, and to tell everyone. And then they drive off. And then he wanders.
As heroin addicts do, right? I mean, they're really going to take that message to heart.
I kept expecting the pickup truck to stop because they didn't know when to stop. So, like, do we just keep going or do we stop?
Good point.
This is a bit of a heavy day. This needs more heroin. Get me through it. He wanders the desert in the bathrobe for a while. He walks past a rose, some baby doll heads. He continues his diatribe in VO in the desert as he approaches his crystal. He turns back and forth into his Bigfoot zombie version of himself. Darker-haired sister shows up begging him to take her with him. When we flash back to the time they fucked, and she touches the Bigfoot mask in the face in the desert. He then says he's giving humans one more chance, and if they fail again, he will destroy them and the whole experiment. He gets back in
alert, we failed. We definitely failed. So if he comes back, we're fucked.
Yep. And then he gets back into his crystal and he flies away to more Carl Sagan Cosmos scenes. And that is the end of I Am Here Now. What a
I love the idea of a sequel. I am back. ... Now.
Now he's in sequel territory, so it's a possibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That should end the credits. I'll be back. ... Later.
Is he going like full Avengers? Like Neil Breen will be back in.
He should. Yeah, that's a wild one.
I love this man. He's such a treasure,
right?
He's kind of the inverse Thanos in a lot of ways. I mean, he created a whole universe, created a whole population, a whole species, a planet, and wants to see it survive.
Yeah.
I mean, he did kill a few people, but he did save a lot more people that killed, though.
Yeah. Until Pass Through, when his whole plan is to kill 300 million people.
Very conflicting.
The reverse Thanos. The Thanos.
He leaves you on your toes, man. He keeps you guessing.
Yeah. Is Pass Through the sequel? Because that could be like, yep, experiment didn't work. Now I'm here to kill them all.
That one I have less spins with. I haven't watched that as much, so I just remember the tiger and the.
I remember.
Maybe that's what you're supposed to get from it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know the scene towards the end where he's like at a party or something with rich people, and the rich people are just talking about like all their crimes that they commit.
He goes from party to party.
And
Right.
he's just like, isn't that embezzlement?
Yeah.
He's so endearing, Neil. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like he's very childish. Like he thinks about these things in very childlike ways. Like that quote unquote rich people are just talking about the evil that they do all the time out in public.
Do you think Neil Breen is super pumped about the people who have disappeared in the submarine?
He's probably not sad about it.
Right. Yeah.
He
That
definitely
was
would've
Neil
went to that-
Breen's doing.
He definitely would have went to that Blink-182 concert as well.
The funny thing is, like, I agree with pretty much everything he says in this movie. Like, I have to take down the greedy corporations. Like, yeah, that's great, Neil.
Sure. Yeah,
Do
Neil,
it.
Neil Breen's an anarchist through and through. He's an eat the rich kind of guy.
It's great, and his message is like you said, is pure. His way of getting that message across is so muddled.
How can I combine my ideas of righteousness with my narcissism?
Make it as confusing as possible.
Right. Yeah, he's an artist, right? That's his vision comes first. Plot be damned.
Yep, that is I Am Here Now, and we've got a third segment coming up. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break and listen to some ads so you can pay those bills. We will be right back. And welcome back. Now it's time for our third segment, and this week we are going to play Recast It, but a little differently. We're going to do Neil Breen in movies. So we each have 3 movies. We're going to do a round robin sort of thing, and we are going to replace a main character in some classic films with Neil Breen in order to make these movies better. So that is the game we're going to play, and we're going to kick it off. Why don't our guests start this week? Alex, what about you? Why don't you kick us off?
Oh no. I don't know what it is about me, but the first thing that I thought of to replace somebody in a movie with Neil Breen is Morpheus.
Ooh.
I think he would be a great Morpheus in the Matrix. Somebody who explains what the real world is like and what the fake world is like. I think he'd be really great in that.
I like it.
That's good.
I just want to see him holding up a battery and explaining everything. It was either Morpheus or the Architect.
Okay.
And I figured, like the first movie is the best movie out of the trilogy or the quadrilogy now. So I want to see him as Morpheus.
Pete, what about you?
I kind of want to let Neil Breen live out his fantasy and have him kind of fix or be in a movie. It's not going to fix the movie, but it's probably the worst. It is the worst one out of this franchise, and I think it would be watchable if he plays Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible 2.
That's really good.
I want to see him rock climb for real in the beginning, which we see in Double Down, a little bit of it, because that's what he's emulating. And I figure, you know what? This is going to be so much fun to watch Mission 2, because it sucks to rewatch. And I think it would just be so much better with Neil Breen at the helm.
That's a good one. Mark, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the easy one here. Make sure I get it out of the way first. Just because of one line that is said in the movie, I'm going to take Neil Breen playing Dominic Toretto in Fast 5, just to have him say, "This is Brazil," when he's yelling at The Rock. That's all. And it also gives him his Jesus complex that he'd be comfortable in.
They're merging. All right, Dan, what about you? What's your first one?
I'm keeping with the desert theme for him. I'm gonna put Neil Breen in Mad Max Fury Road as Max.
Okay.
I like the idea because Max is a very stoic character, and I would just like to hear Neil Breen drone on about the wasteland and all the different factions that have taken over the world at this point, and how he wants to topple like those factions now.
Yeah.
I think he fits in perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, taking on what was it, Immortan Joe? Was that
Immortan Joe? Right. Like, I need to take down the greedy Immortan Joe, hoarding all the water.
Okay, that's a good one. As for me, so Alex and I were messaging earlier today, and just so happened to be similar to what my first one is, because I want to see Neil Breen walk around this world with childlike enthusiasm, trying to figure out what this world is all about. So I want him in E.T. playing E.T. And Alex sent me a picture, and they share very similar physical features.
Oh wow!
Same body type.
Love it.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
good.
ET body type is always a good body descriptor that you dislike. I suppose.
Just him running around with Elliot just would make me laugh so much.
For any of us fans out there, a Photoshop of Neil Breen in the bicycle basket when they're flying over the moon would be very appreciated.
I will get that tattoo.
All right, Alex, your second one.
Well, I'm going to keep with the desert theme, and I'm going to keep with the counterculture stuff, which Breen seems to be a fan of. And I'm going to go with, I want him to be Raoul Duke / Hunter S. Thompson from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
That's a good one.
I feel like they can rant about the same kind of thing, but I want to see him with tinted aviators, bucket hat, cigar stick or cigarette stick kind of thing, but also tripping balls at Circus, stepping over things that are not there. I want to see that.
That's a good one. Pete, what about you?
I'm not in the desert, but I'm on sand, so he's familiar with this location. And I want to see him, only him, acting his ass off. And I just want to hear like 1,000 takes of him yelling Wilson nonstop.
Wilson.
Wilson. Castaway, obviously, I want him to play.
And each of those takes will make it into the movie.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's no cutting.
When you mentioned sand, I thought you were going to say Anakin.
He plays young Ant, little Annie.
Little Annie.
He's older than fucking Ewan McGregor.
He's just nuzzling Natalie Portman, who's like,
Oh, God.
He kills the Tusken Raiders. I slaughtered them like animals. They are animals.
because they're greedy corporate lawyers.
Greedy politicians.
Oh, yeah, going up against the Senate.
Yeah.
Politicians.
Yeah, the trade embargo.
Okay, Mark, you're second.
So I thought it would be nice to put him in a role where the role would be the opposite of what we assume Neil Breen's characters are. So I'm going to put him in Luke Wilson role in Idiocracy, him being the smartest guy in the room.
Okay.
Tony thinks.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
That's a good one.
I like
Yeah.
that one. Dan, what about you? Second one.
This one's a little bit of a stretch, but in keeping with the entire pimps and hookers motif that he has,
Hustle and flow.
I have him as Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver.
Oh, I love this so much.
Oh my God.
That's much better.
Yes. He exudes that insanity, but like,
Yes.
and he obviously cannot live up to the standards of Robert De Niro, but him going through parts of New York City, probably the same block over and over again, and trying to make it look like different locations. I would love to see that, and I would like to see how he handles the final scene in the the crack house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
And to this,
Someday a real rain will come and wash all this away.
The mirror scene alone, I want to see that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a corrupt politician in that one too, right?
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. You got the politicians and the hookers.
I swear to God, at one point during one of his movies, he's going to do that stuff where he just repeats lines and he's just going to say cut and leave it in.
Oh.
For my second one, I picked this one because I wanted to put him in a role that needed a ton of charisma, which he does not have, and up against a bunch of heavy hitting comedic actors who are giving it their all, and just because he is such a charisma black hole, I just think it would be funny, the juxtaposition. I want to put him in the Tim Curry role in Clue.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
He's the Mr. Body, right? He's the butler.
He's not Mr. Body.
Oh,
He's,
Wadsworth.
Wadsworth.
Yes.
Yeah. Just having him, that whole the third act, just him just giving nothing while everybody else is giving everything, just would make me laugh so much. All right, Alex, your last one.
All right, my final one is a character in a movie. Also, I'm going back to 99 for some reason. Maybe that's a special year for Mr. Breen. Maybe that's when he got his realtor's license. I don't know. But I see him in the character who is anti-authority. Of course, I got a theme going on here. I'm picking on something here. And, he basically has the same body type as this character. And he's kind of an id. And that would be Tyler Durden from Fight Club. We cook your meals. We haul your trash. We connect your calls. Do not fuck with us. And he's still same kind of anti-corporation, anti-greed, anarchist, like you said, all that stuff embodied in the fabulous ET body of Tyler Durden, aka.
The only difference between his two, the Edward Norton version is the clean-shaven one, and the Brad Pitt is the one with the goatee. But it's still just Neil Breen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right, Pete, what about you?
I think we could all agree that he has a fantastic face and amazing facial expressions. A little scary here and there. But I'm not giving this guy any lines in this movie. He is going to be playing The Shape in Halloween 1978.
Oh my God.
Great.
What is this? Hollow Breen. I love it.
Hollow Breen.
I think it'd be really scary. Like just him walking across the street or Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that's scarier than fucking Michael Myers.
No mask.
No mask at all. No, this is Breen's face.
He's really good at making young women feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Perfect.
I'm just a shot of him like walking very fast across the street, like towards the house. just weird 55-year-old man.
I think it could work, man.
Him outside the house with the bed sheet,
behind the clothesline.
Behind the clothesline.
Is that like a friend of my dad's or something?
Oh my God.
That'd be good. All right, Mark.
I don't know how I follow that. So my last choice, I wanted to pick a movie that has like a really long monologue in it for him to say. I came down to two, but I thought since I'm on this podcast, I thought I would throw one up for Dan and just say I will cast him as William Wallace in Braveheart.
Interesting. I would love to see him give that speech
at the end. That's the only thing I was thinking.
What is it? They could take our lives, but they can never take our freedom.
They would take our freedom.
He would do like multiple lines.
I love you. I always have.
Him pacing back and forth on a horse. Just Neil Breen on a horse would be funny to me.
I'd watch Neil Breen as William Wallace. Sure.
Yeah, and also to see if he tries to do a Scottish accent. So
no, not a chance. He does the Scottish accent. Not a chance. You get Neil Breen when you hire Neil Breen. That's
Nick Cage.
Yeah, exactly. You're no more, no less.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of monologues I want to see him perform, like the watch scene in Pulp Fiction.
He got dysentery. Gave me the watch.
It's again just like doing multiple lines of these iconic, or like multiple takes of these iconic monologues, and just leaving them in the movie. I would write a big fat check to see him do that. I would pay any amount of money to see him do like the USS Indianapolis.
Right. All right, Dan, your last pick.
All right, so keeping with the theme of Alien, because he's definitely an otherworldly being, I am casting Neil Breen in one of my favorite horror movies of all time, The Thing, as The Thing. He is the final iteration of The Thing that pops up out of the ground, and Kurt Russell says, "Yeah, well, fuck you too," and that's it. That's the only shot you get of him.
All right. So I have two last ones. The first one I have is what we know Neil Breen likes to do in his movies, likes to lay pipe. So I want to put him in 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh,
I think that would make that series 100% more creepy.
I was thinking either that or being Dirk Diggler.
I was going to say the same thing. Yep.
Does he keep his pants on the entire time?
Look,
Yes.
Christian Grey fucks with his pants on. So does
Neil Breen.
Yeah. And then the other one, just like because I think it would like a 60-foot tall Neil Breen would be hilarious. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters.
I'm sorry, I saw Double Down.
What just popped in there, Ray? Double Down. That's something you don't see every day.
Gingerly old man walking down the street.
Stepping on the church.
Yep.
All right. Corporate greed, politicians, lawyers.
He crushes what's his name from the Environmental Protection Agency. Peck. He just crushes Peck.
He just stomps on Wall Street.
Oh man, I would watch every single one of these movies.
The Shape is the best one.
The Shape
can't believe
I agree. I agree. The Shape is the fucking best
one. Oh my god,
that's the one that broke me.
That's how you revitalize the Halloween series.
Yeah, you hire Breen. It sucks though. You're not going to get any dialogue. That's the only thing we're going to miss. But I think.
But those eyes, though.
It's little beady eyes.
He can tell. He writes poetry with his body language.
Yes, he does.
All right. Yep, that's our episode. Thanks for playing that game, guys. Alex, Pete, thanks for coming on again. These are always a great time.
Always,
so much,
always a blast, man.
You want to kind of tell everybody where we could find you guys?
The Bingecast, Binge Media, wherever you guys get podcasts.
Okay, short and sweet, like it. All right, great. Thanks everybody for listening. We're at TikTamPod on Twitter and Instagram. They call us a movie on TikTok. And yeah, hit us up, tictampod@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, you want to just suggest some movies. And that's going to wrap us up. The director of I Am Here Now, 2009, is directed by Neil Breen. So for Dan Aquino, Mark Myers, Pete and Alex, this is Anthony DeVecchio telling Neil Breen, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you? Thanks for listening to They Called Us a Movie. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. You can also check us out on TikTok at They Called Us a Movie.